Hello students, this is Dr. Prakash Pitoda. Once again we are going to continue with our functions and its type part 2. So I'm sure you all have gone through part 1 before you've started with this as there is a logical link between both of them. Let us very quickly revise on what we have done. So we are going to begin understanding from here. We have seen the meaning of the function. A function is nothing but a task, a particular process out of a larger process. All right, it is a task or a process from a larger program. A large program is broken into small, easily executable tasks. We call that as function. You have also seen that each function is responsible to perform single process. All right, and these processes create a function. They are also known as method or sometime even in module in many cases. All right, then we've also seen in our previous class uh, functions are of two types. Basic general types is library functions, which are ready-made functions, user defined functions which are created by the programmer for the specific needs of the user. We are going to learn about these two: call by value, call by reference. In ICSE, call by value comes from for 15 marks, a reference comes for 15 marks. That makes 30 marks pure for programming only, plus around 6 marks, up to 6, sometimes even 8 marks also. You have a theory as well. So it's a very good topic for you to ensure that will give you a good marks. Call by value further divides into void type and a return type. Void type we have seen in part 1. Now we are going to introduce ourselves for more with a return type function and we'll see some of the comparison as well. So we have seen library functions which are ready-made functions provided by Java. They are general purpose functions, alright, that are needed for the program commonly. Math functions, string you will learn in future, they are ready-made functions. So like math.sqrt provides you square root of a given number, which is ready-made provided by the Java. We have also seen previously user-defined functions that cannot be provided by Java ready-made. They are the ones which are created by the programmer. Hence, programmer creates this function for the needs of the user, and that's how we call them as user-defined function. They are of two types: call by value, call by reference. We have seen the syntax of call by value: access specifier, modifier, return type, function name. We have seen the example also in the past case. Public static void name of the function is sum. Parameter list is a list of values that a particular function receives, needs, wants in order to perform the task. Okay, now we have seen these two are optional, but these three are compulsory. These three are compulsory. You will be learning as and when you go ahead. Okay, now we have seen previous example with the void type. Now we are going to see the example using return type. Now, we've also seen that example public static void sum. This function is doing the sum of two numbers. Alright, sum of two numbers, that is x and y. And if I want to make a function call, I call the function by its name. So the function is called here where the function call is made. This is a function call. So the function will come here. 10 and 25 will be supplied to x and y. The total and the printing will take place. This is a void type function. Void literal means does not return. Okay, we will see this in the return type function more in detail. So let us understand if I have to do this particular call by value return type with the help of this diagram first. So let's take a diagram first. Okay, so here is a diagram. First, assuming that I have a class test, take this boundary green color as a class boundary. So my bracket from here, I can put my bracket over here probably, and I can put my bracket over here. So this is my class. Inside class, I have got main, okay, which has three functions being called. One is your library function, math for class. Another is my void type function. So this is my void type function. Okay, and this is going to be my ready-made library function. Okay, and this is what we are going to focus on, the return type. We will discuss more here. So now, assuming that I have got two functions, one is a void type, another is also return type. Now in a return type, since you cannot write void, you have to write something. So in this case, you will find always there will be some primitive data or a string. Non-primitive, only string is allowed. So one of the type you will be needing here. We will see as and when we progress why and what we need. Alright, but this is a diagram, so I'm just showing you with the help of diagram. So now assuming that this function is doing a product of two numbers coming in the form of a and b. So assuming a and b are receiving 10 and 20, here is my answer. Even this is receiving a as 10, b as 20. So 10 plus 20 is a sum function. I'm doing sum. So they will give me a 30 as the answer. Okay, there is an answer. But since the function is void type, what is the consequence? Function is return type. What is the consequence? That is what we need to know diagrammatically first, and then we will go into more detail. So let us start with the first function, math. Now remember, there must be somewhere a class math, because you are following a class dot the function name. So computer pointer will go to the math class first. Alright, and make computer run sqrt by supplying this 25 into x. This one will have its own process which is going to find that answer and return that 5.0 here. Return back. Okay, so this function will return the answer back. The answer 5.0 will come back here. Let me tell you also, all library functions are return type. I'm making a very important statement. All library functions, okay, are return type. Okay, we'll see what can be done with that return type. So this is the ready-made. Now I have my product function here, which is having a void, which means does not return. It means this function return. Return means this value is not able to go back to the place from where the function call was made. How this value has been supplied here, this value can't be supplied here because it is void. Alright, so the gateway of going out is closed. However, because the void function, I have two choices. One, once the value, the function is called here, the 10 and 20 has been supplied here. The answer derived either can go to the screen for printing or go to your data bank, where hard disk or wherever that you want to store. Either I can do store or screen, or I can do both. I can supply in both possible. Okay, depending upon the needs of the program. However, when it comes to return type, the function will do the same thing. The process will not change. Only thing, of course, there is a product here. There's some the basic processing did not change, but because it is returning, it returns the value back to the function call statement over here. The answer, like how 5 has come from there to here, this answer I can supply from here by, alright, using a function, alright, return type. So the values have come here 10 and 20, answer 30 has gone back here. Now from here, as a programmer, you are a programmer, you know the function is going to calculate and return me. You will take a call whether you want this data to go on the screen, the data to go to the hard disk, your data bank, or it is to go for further process. Sometime what happens, I need a data for further process. I'll give you a simple example. Say I am getting 6 subjects marks, okay, from somewhere. Now I am supplying these marks. Out of them, English will give me average of 2 subject marks. I want this answer number to go back. Alright, social studies also needs an average of 2 subjects. Once an average is found, I want that answer to go back. Science is average of 3 subjects. Total is found, average comes here. Now English average, social studies average, science average has been again supplied back. We have returned them. 6 subject marks are now supplied somewhere else to find percentage. Alright, and a rank as well. So I can supply a value back, I can receive it back. For that I need to have a return type function. Okay, so Logically, you can say a function's job is to perform a process, get the processed answer, supply it back to the function, supply it back to the function call statement rather. Let the programmer or the user take a call whether you need to supply it on a screen, data bank, or for further process is lying with the programmer. So this is what is needed for the return type. This is a diagrammatical explanation. We will see this with the help of a program. So let us go ahead with the program. Now there are two programs here. One is a void type, focus here, and a return type. So we will quickly have a look at the void type and then you pay attention to this. Now both programs does the same thing. However, if you look at this, look at the function number 1. It is saying void type of function receives 2 decimal, finds the total, prints the answer. Okay. Whereas void product receives 2 number, straight prints this answer onto the screen. So I can store and print. I can only store, I can only print, both, everything is possible. So when the user will run void main, some will call this function, alright, call this function here. It is pointer doesn't move out, the function is called here to execute. 1.0, 2.0 has been supplied here. Okay, total is found 3.0 and has been supplied onto the screen. Similarly, immediately after this, when computer will run this, this is going to be called here. Pointer is not moved out of this. Pointer is still inside. This has been called inside. 2 and 5 has been copied onto X and Y. 2 into 5, 10. Alright, has been printed onto the screen. Okay, because the void type either store or print, alright, or both. Whereas in return type, the same thing you focus here. First thing, in a return type, how do you write a function? You don't write void over here. Okay, you don't write void. This is a blank. But the sum remains the same if you see. Double A, double B remains the same. The parameter will receive a value. Process, basic process did not change. But after the final process is done, the last process value that we want, for which the actual function has been made, that value we have to use a keyword called return. The job of this function is to return the value of C. It does not return C, it returns a value of C. So if I say sum 2.5, 3.5, this function is called here. 2.5 and 3.5 has been applied here. Okay, 2.5 plus 3.5 is 6.0 calculated. So return is return, it is return 6.0, not C. So this value goes from here to this particular place and has 6.0. So when I say print this, 6.0 comes onto the screen. So return will return the data. Now since return is returning the value of C, C happened to be of double type, I have to mention the value instead of void, because void itself means you can't return. So you have to instruct the computer what type of value this function is returning. So I can have the value which is matching with this. Since C is of a double type, it's double. But assuming C was of integer type, I could have easily written, if you have to know your casting. If this was int, it would have been int, long, float, double, everything is possible. Because a larger side can be supplied. So you need to know your casting well. So it has to be either equivalent or a greater than the data type of C, I must mention over here. So it is read as public static double sum. This is public static void sum. The moment you say void, it means you have to do the printing part here only. In this case, the moment it comes as data type, it means a value will go back to the function. Okay, so this works at the principle of all the math functions, that the value will come back. You are a programmer, you will take a call here whether you want to print or you want to store. So what is a store? So let us understand here. So when I say product function, a product function is written here, public static int. Why int? Because I am receiving 2 integer. I am finding a product also of 2 integer which is going to result into integer. So I'm taking an integer type here. Otherwise I could have easily taken here long. I'm allowed to use long. I'm allowed to use float. I don't know why it's not working. Float and double. Anything I can make use of it. So when I'm able to use this, as of now we are, because it's integer, I'm taking integer. So when computer will call this product function here, 2 and 5 is supplied here. This is 2, this is 5. Okay, 2 into 5, 10. So return is basically return 10. Return 10 will go back and come here. This whole thing means 10. So it will go into the variable. I can say returned value can be directly printed or it can be stored into a variable. Now this variable must be of a data type matching with the data type of your function. Alright, so if this is int, minimum has to be int. But if this is int, this can be long, float, double, anything. If this is long, here long, then this has to be long, float, double, anything. If this is float, this can be float or double. But if this is double, this has no choice but to double, because double is the highest data type. I'm sure by this time 10 standard should know their casting. They should know which data type can absorb what data type value. So this value has gone 10 into S. Now I can use S. I can print S. I can use it for further process. Alright, so this is the difference between all of them. So if I actually again take a little bit of a erase the entire thing. Okay, I can say eraser. If I just erase this part to show you a little more clean, then you'll be able to understand, okay, that the data items are going back after the return statement is executed. The job of a return statement is to return the value from from your function back to the function call. The function call is a statement that you are using inside main, from where you are calling the function for execution. So if I'm going to make it a little more cleaner here, I am sure you will be able to understand very easily this part. Okay, this side is very important because we are dealing with this side. All right, the return type. So I hope you understand the return. Return will return the value of C back to the function call statement. So let us take an example, the practical part of it. I'm going to take you here to the practical. Okay, let us start with the first one. So here is your math function. You don't know where the function is. From wherever the class math is called with its functions sqrt 25 supplied. You will see all math functions you do this. Once the value of math function has been received, either you print or you store. Okay, I'm sure you have gone through the math class the video. Okay, so all math functions are of return type. So when from wherever the value comes in, we are printing it or we are storing it into a type. Now this if I compile, it's no syntax error. But if I type here int math.pow returns compulsorily decimal type. If I click here also, you will see the return data type incompatible type possible lossy conversion, because this is returning a decimal. So based on what is written in my statement over there in POW, I'm sure the return type will be mentioned here. So that's why you need to have a return type as double here. Now if I compile this and run, alright, it gives me the answer of whatever I have asked for. Similar to this, I will have my own function. As a programmer, you are creating your own function, public static int sum. So now you're not using void. Why you are writing int? Because in the process when you're going to do z is equal to a plus b, a and b which are coming from the user, it is going to be returned back. So return z means returning the value of z to this place. So 2 and 3 comes here, 2 and 3, 2 plus 3, 5. This means it is as good as return 5. Okay, this is as good as return 5. So 5 value has gone back here and this is going to print 5. Whereas when come to the same function, that is something called reusability. Same function, now I am running again to supply 20 and 30. 20 plus 30 is going to be 50. So computer will say return Z means 50 will go back. So this will be considered as return 50 this time. That 50 comes here and gets stored into variable X, and now I'm printing or using. I can use. So what if I say X plus X? Then I will get answer 100 because I'm using that value for again. See here 100. So this is how the return type functions returns the value. Now remember, I don't need to write this. I can straight write down. I can disable this line and I can straight write down here A plus B. I'm allowed. I'm allowed to use this. An expression, though it's not the expression will go back, it is the value of expression that goes back. So A plus B, whatever you want, you can write it in a bracket also, not an issue. Some books have given in bracket also. The calculation will go back, my answer will still remain same there. So return type will return a value back to the function call in your main. Okay, now again, as I told you previously, in a professional programs, people call one class into another class. Here you have in the same. So I hope you guys have understood the return type. Let us take one more very small. What if I have to input a value? So I'm using import java.util.asterisk for scanner. Two values are accepted. Okay, now we are calling this function sum of x comma y. So assuming x is 10, y I am going to input as 25. So this is considered as sum of 10 comma 25. It means the function sum will be called from here to here. 10 and 25 will be copied from there to here. So 10 plus 25 return 35 will go back here and my answer will come as first is equal to, so I'm going to run just like that. I have written a message here. So I'm putting 10, I'm putting 25 and my answer is here. Now suppose I want the answer to come back and use it. So I'm showing you a little bit of undo part. Alright, I've already done it. So I'm taking a variable. Okay, so leave this for a little while and focus here. So I'm saying sum of x comma y. It means 10 and 25. Of course, this will work. So I'm going to leave this now. Now 10 and 25 will go here. 10 plus 25, 35 will come here and goes into S. So my S value will say second sum now is 35. At the same time, I am taking 2000 and 5000. So sum will receive now 2000 and 5000 here. 2000 plus 5000. 7000 will go back here, goes into P, it should print. Okay, now if I compile this and run 10, 25, which my standard value, but this is 7000. So the same function second and third both are in those lines. Okay, now suppose I want these two values to be supplied elsewhere. Since the value has come back from here to here and goes into S and P, I can use this. So I'm just undoing little more here. You can see this now. So I have taken another variable k is equal to S into P. So S is received first sum, okay, which is printing. P is going to receive that 7000. Now I'm saying 7000 into whatever 35. Okay, so this is going to get printed. So the received value from returned, the received value which has gone into S and P is now used for further processing. So now if I say here, I put still 10 and 25 and computer has shown. Okay, I think we'll have to check it out why this answer is still 7000. So let's check some mistake if we have done. Yeah, because we have not printed K, we have printed P. I'm going to print K now and I'm going to take a little smaller number because it's going to work out to be a very big number. So 2 and 3. So definitely 2 plus 3, 5. and then 5 into 7000 mentally calculatable value. So I'm going to say 2 and 3, 5 sum plus that 7000 into 5 becomes 35,000. So the value that has been returned can be used also to supply elsewhere. That's how return type functions are very important. Now, very important for us to understand also, since it's mentioned here. Remember, you can print even a value inside a return type. It's not that it is impossible. However, you can't write after return statement, because once the pointer will come here, the pointer will immediately move from here to here. You will never be reaching here. So you will get an error message, unreachable statement. However, if I put it before this will work. Not that it will not work. So every time you will see a function is visited, you will get inside the function. Okay, so I'll show you here 2 and 3. You see, first time inside the function the total took 5, then your return value was 5, so it was printed there 5. Then again 2000 and 5000 was supplied, so inside function 7000 total, which is supplied back, and there in main it was printed, and then multiplication. Now, though it is working, ideally as a programmer, good programmer, you will not write inside, because logically the value is anyway going back to the programmer. Programmer has all the right to print it there, so you should not, though it allows you, but you should not. Okay. Also remember, a program should have only one return statement, alright, if it is independent. But I can have multiple return statement if they are a part of some condition. For example, if I say if A greater than B, okay, so I'm going to say here if A greater than B, then return, let's say, so I say A, okay, else if B greater than A, then say return B, else I can say return C. Now if you look at this, then a programmer can write as many return statement as he wants, provided they are a part of a condition. Independently you cannot write. After the first return statement you will get immediately an error message, unreachable statement for the other return if they are written in a sequential order. But in a condition, because logically one condition will be true, only one value will go true. So see, no syntax error. Okay. However, though you can write multiple return statement, but a computer will execute only one return statement, whichever first comes based on the truthness of the condition. Only that one will get executed, everything else is ignored. For example, let's say you know A is 2 in the first instance, B is 3. So in this case, B is greater than A, so B value will be returned back over here. So I will get here 3. Similarly, between 2 and 5000, it is a 2000 which will come back here, because that's a smaller value. Between A and B, alright, B is greater, so 5000 is greater than 2000. So even in that case, you can say 5000 will go back, which will print 5000, and of course then multiplication. So if I go back and run this, and I put here 2 and 3, if you look at this, between 2 and 3, 2 greater than 3 is false, but 3 greater than 2 was true, so 3 got returned. Similarly with 3 and 5, 2000 and 5000, and then their product, because what has been returned? Their product. So logically, you can write multiple return statement, but they have to be a part of condition. However, only one return statement will execute. Now, I'll also show you here, if I write this in a sequential order, you see first error message has come, unreachable statement. If I disable this line, it will show me here, unreachable statement. Because logically, the moment computer will come here, pointer has gone back. So you can't write multiple returns. Alright, I mean, you can't have multiple return statement being executed, but you are allowed to write. I hope you guys have understood this. Alright, this is a circle that we have done with the void type. We are doing with return type. So now You can write static, you can avoid static, but as of now, as we have been doing, we will write static static. I am still going to use in some future class. I'm going to show the difference between static and non-static. Then we will see what can be done and what happens. But as of now, radius value has been input from the user. Computer will run the function. Radius value will be supplied from here to here. Calculation will take place and the value will go back to A. A will print. I can directly print as well by supplying. Let's say I'm going to put a smaller value. I'm going to go say put 2.8. Very important to all of you all. Math.py will automatically take the pi value. Okay, it's a function not part of your syllabus, but you are still allowed to use. So I'm putting 5.2, which was written there. So you see this is 5.2 and this was default 2.8. So the values has been returned after the calculation back to the function call here with this value and here with this value to run this. I'm sure you guys have understood the concept. You can always pause and have a look at these programs, okay, to understand and try practicing those programs. Thank you very much. I hope you have understood the return type, the difference between the void and the return. Use this as a revision, all right, to write your program, because this is going to be useful in the next segment that you are going to learn. Please ensure that you subscribe this channel so that you will keep on getting regular updates on the ICC related syllabus as well as questions. Thank you very much. God bless.